Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a FIFA World Cup opening match that is absolutely going down in the history books. I mean, we wait 4 long years for the World Cup, right? And when that opening whistle finally blew at Mexico's legendary Estadio Azteca, literally nobody expected the sheer level of cinematic, off-the-rails drama we were about to witness. We had over 90,000 screaming fans, a massive home crowd advantage for Mexico, and a South African side stepping onto the pitch, hoping to pull off an upset. But instead of your typical cautious, feel-it-out tournament opener, we got a game that exploded into chaos almost instantly. So we're going to look way beyond just the final score today. We're breaking down exactly how Mexico secured this thrilling 2-0 victory, where South Africa's master plan completely fell apart, and why this opening match became an instant day-one classic. And just to give you a taste of exactly how wild this game got, 3. That's the staggering number of red cards handed out in this single match. No way, right? In a World Cup opening game where teams almost always play it safe, seeing 3 players sent to the locker room is practically unheard of. It completely ripped up the tactical script for both managers. Okay, let's dive right into this pre-match context because it's actually fascinating. Exactly 16 years ago, the 2010 World Cup kicked off with this exact same matchup, Mexico versus South Africa, which ended in a really tense 1-1 draw. This marks the very first time in history that the exact same 2 nations have played each other in back-to-back World Cup opening matches. It's like a giant historical puzzle piece clicking into place. But as you can tell from the 2026 result, the sequel played out very, very differently. Now, a huge factor in that result was the venue itself. The Estadio Azteca officially became the first stadium in history to host 3 World Cup opening matches. That is a massive, massive record. And the atmosphere, absolutely electric. Before a single ball was even kicked, we were treated to this grand opening ceremony with global superstars. We're talking Shakira, Maná, Andrea Bocelli, plus a surprise appearance by Salma Hayek that sent the crowd into a total frenzy. The place was packed to the rafters. So for South Africa, coming in as a Pot 3 team, stepping into that literal wall of sound against a heavily favored Mexican side, well, that was an incredibly daunting task from minute 1. And honestly, all that immense pressure cooked up a result in record time. 9 minutes. That is all it took for Mexico to shatter the deadlock and blow the roof off the stadium. Just 9 minutes to completely short-circuit South Africa's defensive strategy. Let's break down exactly how this lightning-fast strike actually happened, step by step. Step 1. Mexican midfielder Eric Lira challenges for a 50-50 ball right in the midfield, and he wins it. South Africa's defense was honestly caught napping a bit, giving up possession way too cheaply in their own third. Step 2. Lira doesn't hesitate for a second. He instantly pushes the ball forward to Julian Quinones. The South African defenders just react too late, leaving Quinones in miles of unmarked space. In step 3, Quinones absolutely seizes the moment. He fires this low, hard, laser-accurate shot right between the legs of the South African keeper, Ronwen Williams. It was an absolute masterclass in instantly punishing a defensive error. And this brilliantly illustrates just how fast we're talking here. To put that 9th-minute strike into perspective, it's actually the second fastest opening match goal we've seen since 2006, when Germany's Philipp Lahm scored in the 6th minute against Costa Rica. Quinones came into this tournament riding massive momentum as the top scorer in the Saudi League, and he translated that form flawlessly onto the biggest stage in the world. So after that early goal, Mexico was just flying. Quinones nearly scored again, pushing a shot just wide in the 18th minute, and he actually banged one off the goalpost in the 42nd. Now, South Africa tried dropping into a 5-back defensive system to frustrate them, which kind of slowed things down, but Mexico was still dominating possession. And during this intense first half, we got to see a brand new feature of this World Cup, official hydration breaks. These pauses give players a chance to grab some water, but critically, it lets them get extra tactical instructions straight from their coaches. It's this really fascinating new dynamic that totally breaks up the flow of the half. But then, we come out of halftime and the narrative just fractures. It goes from a dominant Mexican masterclass straight into absolute chaos. The early goal set the stage, sure, but the 49th minute flipped the game on its head, paving the way for the final nail in the coffin around the 67th minute. Let's zoom in on what actually went down right after the break. The true turning point hit in the 49th minute, and it was a total nightmare for South Africa. Mexican attacker Brian Gutierrez was clean through on goal. He had totally broken the defensive line. South African midfielder Spipelo Yaya Sithole is desperately tracking back, and he tackles him right on the edge of the box. Because he denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity, well, that's a professional foul. The referee didn't even blink, straight red card. Suddenly, South Africa is down to 10 men, and whatever grand plan they had for a second-half comeback, poof, evaporated right then and there. Now, what's really interesting here is that the chaos didn't stop with Sithole. The indiscipline spread like wildfire. We ended up seeing 3 red cards in total during that second half. South Africa also lost Temba Zwane, and Mexico, they weren't immune either. They lost their key center back, Cesar Montes, to a red card as well. Seeing this level of disciplinary chaos in an opener is incredibly rare, and I think it just speaks volumes to the immense, crushing pressure both these squads were feeling under the bright lights of the Azteca. Section 1. The comeback hero, Raul Jimenez. Amidst all this aggression and red card chaos, we really need to talk about the emotional core of this match. In the 67th minute, Mexican veteran striker Raul Jimenez finally found his long-awaited World Cup moment. Off this perfectly floated cross, Jimenez finds himself completely unmarked at the back post and just buries a free header into the net. For Jimenez, a guy who literally fought his way back to the pitch after a life-threatening injury earlier in his career, this wasn't just about securing 3 points. It was an incredibly emotional milestone. The crowd felt the weight of it, giving him a roaring standing ovation, and at 2-0 down, playing shorthanded, South Africa was officially done. Section 2. Key match takeaways. So what does this all mean? Let's distill what we've just watched into a few key tactical takeaways. First, that fast start was absolutely crucial. That 9th-minute goal gave Mexico this massive psychological edge, feeding right into the energy of that home crowd. Secondly, discipline, or, the total lack of it, completely derailed South Africa. That 49th-minute red card forced them to throw their playbook out the window. And finally, squad depth is going to be tested immediately. Opening games rarely impact the very next match quite like this one will. Both teams are now missing crucial players due to suspensions, which forces both managers into some really high-stakes tactical reshuffling. Taking a quick look at the Group A standings right now, Mexico secures the perfect start with 3 points, tied at the top with South Korea. Meanwhile, South Africa and Czechia are sitting at the bottom with 0. Mexico has successfully sent a massive warning shot to the rest of the world. They are going to be incredibly tough to beat on home soil. But their next test is coming up fast against South Korea in Guadalajara. And remember, they've got to face that challenge without their star defender, Cesar Montes. So I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. Who is your man of the match? Was it Julian Quinones, who set the tone with that lightning-fast opening strike? Or does it got to be Raul Jimenez for that beautiful, deeply emotional comeback goal that sealed the deal? Let me know your thoughts down below. The 2026 World Cup has officially arrived, and if this match is any indication, we are in for an absolutely wild ride. Be sure to check out our next explainer, where we break down the incredible comeback by South Korea against Czechia. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.